Hey, what's up guys? I know it's a long overdue modification video, not like a long overdue mod, but a long overdue modification video. So here it is, as promised, a modification video. Today I want to introduce to you a recently completed mod, and I dubbed this the Dual Force, and that's because tada, I have two outputs, two Ys, two barrels, a single pump, and in it holds two tanks. And if you guys actually want to see how this blaster actually works, please check out this annotation for the video over here. But this is a modified version of it. Please check the description box for the write-up links. I've posted it on various forums, so it's easy for you guys to access anywhere in the world. Right, so I'm going to run through the modification first very quickly. I've locked in the grip. As you can see, it's quite solid. I can just handle everything here on the grip alone. I have extended the trigger pull so I can pull the trigger even further than usual, all the way to almost where the grip is, like so. I modified this blaster in a way that it's meant for left-handers because I'm a left-hander, but if you follow the write-up, you can actually modify it to be for right-handers, as you guys know that the Force can actually swap barrels from side to side. This thing is actually loose. It's more for cosmetics purposes. And these are hoppers, and in it holds a Bazooka Big Blast air tank, and using also the stock the Force air tank, and I just added a Y over here. This piece over here is just to make sure that my barrel is kept centered, as you can see. After I close out the blaster, I remove the orange piece, and there is no more rod over here, so this slot is empty. I can use it for future modifications, like for example I could put stock. And for the sake of those of you who are reading my write-up, there's this one part that I mentioned that I actually sliced the shell in half. It's on this side, so I sliced the shell in this way. You can't really see any of the cuts, except that if you look really closely here, you can see some of the the cut out parts, but it's not very obvious because this purple piece is covering it up. So what that lets me do is basically, if I were to remove the screws on this side, over here, remove this piece over here, take out these screws like that, I can actually lift up this entire portion, just this part, so it's like almost a quarter of the blaster, and get onto the internals and make adjustments if I need, and I can actually adjust the OPRV if I want. That's the next thing I wanted to mention to you guys, that I actually have an adjustable OPRV in this system, so I will not run the risk of accidentally, I would say, rupturing a tank or blowing a tube. So yeah, the way I set the OPRV is that everything will be filled up and it will kick in at about the number 11th pump. Alright, so let me just demonstrate to you very quickly before I go straight into a firing demo. So pump is like that. You can hear it. If I were to go closer to the camera and pump it, you can actually hear the OPRV kicking in. You guys can hear that? I hope you can. It's a little hissing sound, so that's when the OPRV is actually kicking in. Now this pump is a Schwinn bike pump. It's a dual purpose pump. I guess it was a little bit crappy. I should have used this pump instead, this Vito pump, but anyway, by modifying the pump and removing one of the ball bearings, I actually have a dual output now. It's the same pump stroke, just that air is spread two ways, and yeah, I guess it served this purpose in a sense because of this pump and the two tank setup. They gave me this inspiration partly. Alright, props to Taerkitty, because Taerkitty actually did this lever trigger mod for the Lanard Bazooka, Blast Bazooka, and so I used that mod and I ported it over to the Bazooka Big Blast air tank, and it works fine. So the first half of the trigger pull, I'm going to use two fingers because of the air pressure. First half of the trigger pull releases this tank over here, which is the Force tank. Alright, and then the second half, you got to pull it really quick and you release the Big Blast air tank, like that. As you can hear, due to the sheer volume of the Big Blast air tank itself, it gives you a long whoosh. So if you don't pull it fast enough, there's a very high chance that it will accidentally launch two darts instead of one. You get a huge volume of air, but at a slower speed, but that's not what you want, so you have to make sure that your pull is fast. So as I was mentioning, alright, so the Big Blast tank is like a secondary tank, I guess, a tank reservoir, like a backup shot of sorts but the main tank is always on the main force tank. That's why this one holds 6 darts on the hopper clip and this one holds 3. So you can actually squeeze just and fire off just the force air tank and then pump it up again. So if you do so, the initial I guess preparation will be the full 10 to 11 pumps. That's when the OPRV kicks in. I'm going to squeeze out just the first one, as you can hear. Then I'm going to take about 4 to 5 pumps just to fill up this tank alone again, so that's not so bad. Yep, it's about 4.5 pumps. You can squeeze it again. So it works something like that, and then when I'm not able to pump up this one enough, I can actually pull the trigger all the way and fire off the big blast tank, like so, like that. So you guys heard that, like that. Right, so now I'm gonna just skip my banter and get straight into the firing demo. So I'll be using all slug darts. Alright, so I'm loading up the first force tank with 6 slug darts. Okay, so that's all 6 inside. Get my end cap and close it up. And then I'm gonna load the big blast hopper with 3 darts. There we go. And close it up. Now I'm going to be firing them off in a certain fashion, where I'm going to fire off one by one first. Right, so first one is the force tank, and then the second one is the big blast tank. Alright, so that's 1 each. So now I have 2 left in the big blast and 5 left here. So I'm going to show you I guess a few shots. I'm going to fire off 4 from here and 1 from the big blast after that. So I'll show you what I mean by reserve reservoir tank. So this is the initial 10 pumps. Then after that I'm going to go for just the force shot. Like the first one, just pump it up another 4 times. Go for the second force shot, third force shot, fourth force shot, and then now I'm going to just use the reserve in the big blast tank, like that. And then now I'm going to do a quick pull to release both shots at the same time. Yep, so you can see my darts flying everywhere, and that dart actually lodged itself over there. So yeah, this is the result of the modification. If you guys choose to perform it, please take note that if you are going to perform it for right-handed usage, please make sure that this half is on this side. Alright, so I mean, I realize that the demographics of my viewers, which is you guys are not noobs to Nerf, so that's a very good thing. All of you have a certain good level and knowledge of nerfing and modifications, so I assume, or I hope that you understand what I mean by doing this part, shifting it over. Now just to show you guys, because I didn't show it properly in my pictures, I cut off the grey bar over here. This part, I cut it off. This is to give me easier access to the screw ports over here, these two. So in case I want to open this up, it'll help me out, but I seldom will. But anyway, that's just for that purpose. And yeah, so the cool thing about this blaster is that everything is still removable except for the pump. Okay, so now I can move this thing, and that one seems to be rather pretty tight, so just take it out. And that's how we keep it, and this thing slots into place. So now it's a lot shorter and easier to transport around like that. So this is my modified Yes Entertainment Corporation Raw R.A.W Radical Air Weapons The Force mod with the BBBB Big Blast Tank Edition, 2 separate barrels and a pump replacement, and I call it the Dual Force. I initially wanted to call it the Dual Force or the Dose Force, which actually stands for 2 Force or Double Force, Dual Force, but I realized I shouldn't dabble with the language that I'm unfamiliar with, therefore I end up with Dual Force. It's not really a very impactful name, but I thought it would serve its purpose. Yep, so a lot of machine screws hold everything in place. Everything is really very sturdy, and the rattling sound you hear is the return spring, and some of the washers on the Taerkitty's lever trigger mod for the BBBB Big Blast air tank. So that's it. Show you guys quickly a close-up shot, and yeah, I tried my very best to keep it as clean as possible with as little modifications to the external shell as I could, or as I, if I couldn't. I just wanted to maintain the original look, and I will not be doing a paint job on this blaster because purple and grey, sick. You don't see stock blasters in this colorway anymore. So anyway, I hope that you guys like this mod, and I hope that you guys will find some time to go and perform this mod. And just one last thing, I put some felt stickers over here just as a spacer for between the shell and the pump itself. That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for my next video. It's gonna be another mod video, unboxing plus mod. Alright, because yeah, something new came out in Singapore just a couple of days ago, and I would like to try and see if I can mod it quick. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace.